Hey my friends, welcome back to a new video. Today I have a special message for you. You've been contacted by them. So who are they? Today we'll be talking about your guides. We all have spirit guides. We all have these master guides, master teachers, ancestors, spirits that are helping us on our journey. Most of us don't see them. Most of us don't consciously notice them. But usually we experience their thoughts as, this gentle intellectual support. Usually we experience their emotional support. So it's not so much about paying attention to them because they want you to pay attention to you. But it's more about noticing that you're not alone. Wherever you find yourself right now, it's about noticing that you're not alone. You're not going through this alone. Firstly, you recognize there's a surname to your name, which means you're carrying within your DNA the pain of your ancestors, but also the wisdom of your ancestors, which means your ancestors have been through great pain, through great chaos, through incredible events that gave them strength only so they brought you into this world. And as soon as we become more aware of that, we notice, well, my surname carries a name of my ancestors, not just my surname, my blood. I'm not truly who I think I am. I mean, if I look within my body, I will notice a bunch of different genes, cells. I will notice the complexity of my DNA, which is not mine. What is that ego? So everything I'm looking at, it's basically an identity of the great cosmos that is moving through us, allowing us to experience this moment and allowing us to choose what to make out of this moment. So I just wanted to give you this message today because I feel many of you may feel a need to hear that you're not alone right now, but also to hear that you have so much more to offer to this world. Because if you just notice, I mean, I know for myself, my grandparents have been through wars, and their grandparents and their grandparents and their grandparents, they've been through, I think right now my life is much, much easier than it was for my ancestors. But if they would not go through what they've been through, I would not be here. So my life is not easier right now because they've been through hard moments. Because they've been through hard moments, they've made it much easier for us right now. But not for us to have an easier life, because for many of us, life is not easy. But because we are in the moment of time where we've got this opportunity to evolve more consciously, to evolve more creatively. So we are in this moment of time when we get to choose to evolve creatively the most, because consciousness is creativity in action. That's what consciousness is all about. Creativity in action. Being creative, but at the same time using this masculine energy to organize creative ideas into actionable plans. So when you look at your life, you decide what you will do. You decide what will be the next action to take. And you take responsibility for that. And you know that everything is on you. And your ancestors are with you. When you need strength, call them up. Your ancestors are within you. When you need courage, your ancestors are with you. When you need wisdom, your guides will support you. You can call them. You can meditate with them. They will support you. So I want to give you 6 signs to notice in your life that your guides are with you. And before that, I want to share a story with you, which is really interesting because some time ago, a person asked me why all of a sudden I've started seeing feathers all around me. Like never before I've seen them. I mean, I've seen them once in a month, maybe somewhere, birds were there, obviously. But suddenly she started seeing them all over the place. Even in her living room, in her kitchen, she found one on the floor, which didn't make sense to her. And she asked me why I'm seeing these feathers all over the place now. And I said, well, just wait, because you will know why. I will not tell you that, because then I'm interfering with your own lesson. But I will tell you that soon you will know why. Soon you will know that there will happen something where you will need a support that is beyond this physical reality. And that support will show to you that you've been never alone here. And she got these goosebumps, and what happened soon after that, she had an accident and she broke her leg, and she was taken to the hospital. And then when she came into the hospital, it was for her like a coincidence. Just something happened and she got the most incredible care. And nurses there said that they don't know why, but they took her into the most luxurious place or room, or however they call it, and she experienced the most incredible care there. She felt like she was in the hospital before, but she never experienced this kind of generous care. And that's when she said then, now I know why I was seeing feathers all over the place. They were just reminding me to slow down in my life, because I was hurrying, I was doing things that I shouldn't do, and I should really pay more attention to my well-being, and I didn't listen. So many of us have this kind of experiences when we just ignore. We feel there's something intuitive, something mystical, but we ignore it. And even when we experience then something that is a bit more challenging, maybe a bit stressful, like an accident or something like that, we still see, even though we've been through something really heavy, we were never alone there. Like, I know when I went through the most scariest times of my life, when I've started this journey, I just always felt like at the times when I had the least idea how I will move through another month, a miracle happened. Like, there were events that I could not describe any way else than it was a miracle for me. So it just gave me this sensation, and once we experience something mystical, when we meet some of these beings or guides or teachers, we just know something that we don't need to talk about it, but we know that this life is really mysterious. But the whole mystery of life is meant to be like that. It's meant to be it's meant to be the way that it makes us feel curious. Because when we are curious, we start researching and exploring and playing with ideas and imagining and visualizing and dreaming, and then exploring the reality. What happens when we put a dream, or we acknowledge it and we translate it into plans, and we take great amount of action with those plans, and we transform our lives with that. We recognize that we are creators, and then we recognize that's what they are teaching us. So the first sign you may experience in your life that they're with you, they're communicating with you, is that you are experiencing vivid dreams and you are having these incredible visions. So imagine how you would communicate with someone if you would be on a higher dimension, like you would not be physical here. How would you communicate with them? You would communicate them through thoughts. And when you would send thoughts to, let's say, to that person, when they're the least conscious of their ego, which is when they are sleeping and when they have these moments of daydreaming, or moments when, if you go out for a walk and you're not so attached to what's happening in your life and you become a bit more free, Those are the moments when you are the most acceptable for this kind of messages. And through dreams, when you have this kind of dreams, when you just receive wisdom advice, sometimes in my dreams I receive a message. I'm dreaming like a certain master teacher sits in front of me and he says to me what kind of food I need to start eating or what kind of food I need to stop eating. And sometimes it happens to me, and I'm quite, let's say, I have an integrity for this kind of things, because I believe into that, and I've experienced many great changes, positive ones, because of that. So there is a mystery to life, and when you experience something like that, have some honor for that, some gratitude, and for some respect, because maybe you can evolve much faster if you pay more attention to it. Sure, it's not to become delusional and pay more attention just to it and ignore your life, because you're here to live your life and to use this kind of science and advices to improve your life, not to escape from your life. So it's only to improve your life. The second sign is that you experience more enhanced senses. Like, just spontaneously it may happen that you experience a strong intuitive feeling, maybe a feeling of presence. Sometimes my mother says, when she go out for a walk, sometimes she hears like somebody's walking behind her, and then she look around and nobody's there. That's how sometimes we experience this sharpened and more enhanced senses. So when things like that happen, I like to say, if you can go and close your eyes and see if there's a thought that may come to you, if there's any feeling that may come to you. Sometimes we'll get scared, but we need to go over fear. You know, fear, it's more like a biological program, and we need to go beyond that to recognize that there's maybe an intuitive message, an intuitive insight that needs to be passed on to you. So if you can get into a state of meditation, you may receive some wisdom at moments like that. The third sign is that you may experience this random electrical interference. To me, it often happens like that light starts blinking. It happens so frequently, or sometimes I'm not listening radio much, but sometimes, you know, you experience glitches in the sound or things like that. I'm not the only one. I know many people who are experiencing things like that, and many of them always, soon after that, they experience some sort of a sign, some sort of an insight. So if you're experiencing any of that, know that they're interacting with you through energy, through frequencies. It's similar to radio waves. It's similar to the energy of light in the light bubbles. That's why, you know, this energy is so similar, and sometimes it can interact. So if you experience something like that, just again try to tap into this meditative state and see if you can sense something. You don't need to sense the presence of anyone or whatever. Just see if there's a thought that may spark some inspiration. Usually it comes in a form of inspiration or in a form of an insight, of like a moment of clarity that just reminds you of something important. Sometimes we get an idea like that. Sometimes we experience a vision for something we need to work on. Sometimes we experience a life-changing concept. Whatever we need to know at that specific time. So just pay attention to it. The next sign is that you experience higher levels of intuition. So intuition to me is like an inner sense that speaks truth. Sometimes we want to suppress it because we don't like the truth. Many of us often don't want to accept the truth, even though the truth will set you free, right? but we need to accept it. So higher levels of intuition are often that this truth speaks much louder. For example, when you're at a certain meeting, when you experience this maybe fakeness in the air, like this is not authentic, I don't belong here. Again, don't mix it with fear. Sometimes we're scared of being in public places or interacting with unknown people. But this one is different because we notice like, oh, this is really unauthentic and I don't belong here. And you will experience this really strong intuitive feeling, just go out of here, right? But you need to have a great level of self-awareness to find the difference between a fear of being where you're actually supposed to be and you're scared because you're not used to this kind of meetings or whatever it is for you, and sensing this fakeness, or however you want to explain it. You know the best. The point is that you recognize this strong intuitive feeling that something is just not good for you. Sometimes it's food that you're eating and you feel in your stomach that this is just, before you even start eating it, you feel this is just not for me. Or sometimes you feel, oh, this is really good. You meet a person and before you know, you already feel, oh, this is my soulmate. Or you feel, oh, this is the one that will become my best friend. This is the one that will become my business partner. Like now I'm meeting people only like that. Like, it's incredible, you know, when we start trusting these senses more. We start noticing that people just feel attracted to us. And we really start meeting just the right people. When we follow these senses, we start meeting just the right people. Then the next sign is you experience what some people call energy chills. When out of nowhere you experience goosebumps. It's when the right support that you need is with you. Or sometimes it comes through music and you experience this because you need more joy in your life. Sometimes you're seeing art and you experience it. They speak to you through it. Because you need some beauty in your life. You can find some great art in our Etsy store, AttractPassion. If any of it will resonate with you, go and check it out. So if you experience, you know, out of nowhere, this energy shifts, often you may experience it when you go into the forest. There's the whole spirit of the forest speaking to you. Right, in ancient times, people were connected to the spirit of Gaia. People were able to see the spirit of water, the spirit of forest, the spirit of sky, the mother Gaia. They were able to see. They had these spiritual senses evolved. And then we went into this age of darkness that is now ending. And we've kind of disconnected from these senses. And now we are slowly connecting back to them. So we are becoming once again more familiar with these senses. And more familiar with all the life that is around us that we don't see. So when you experience that, know that you're connected to life. Know that life is truly moving through you. And it's encouraging you to be more playful, to be more joyful. To make your life more beautiful and to connect more often with anything that reminds you of beauty, that reminds you of joy, that reminds you of playfulness. To connect more often with that, because that's what life is. Life truly is beauty, it's joy, it's happiness, it's playfulness. That's why when we dance or when we do something we truly love, we feel the most alive, right? And another really interesting sign again is when we experience this sense like we're channeling something. When you're talking with a friend or with someone and you just experience thoughts that you don't know where they came from, but actually maybe the guides of that person speak to you for them. and you're basically channeling them. When both of you are aligned, this often happens. So you've experienced this before. That's how mystical you are. We have all experienced that. So it's just a different terminology maybe, and it truly doesn't matter. But what matters is that we notice that we truly are mystical, and that life is mystical. We shouldn't take these things for granted, because if we learn to use our senses and we learn to channel our ideas, we will recognize that life has a plan for us. The universe has a plan for you. And when you notice, because you can only notice that if you start taking action with your incredible ideas, you will notice these ideas are not just random. They're forming your life into unbelievable success. Only you will experience for yourself, and then you will be able to share it with others. And you can only know that if you pay more attention to your ideas and organize them. Organizing ideas is the masculine energy. Plugging to the ideas, noticing ideas, it's the feminine energy. Being creative, right? Playful, daydreaming, noticing all of that. And then masculine energy requires structure of that. That's why if you're too much in the masculine energy, you will say, oh, I don't need to play, I don't need to dance, I don't need to relax, I can just hustle and work, which is all fine if that works for you. But if you're too much in the feminine and you're constantly daydreaming and constantly being lost in the clouds, as some people say, then you will feel kind of ungrounded, which again feels great when you're daydreaming, but your life will be really, really hard. So a great balance between feminine and masculine happens once we learn to play with our ideas and then structure them and organize them and take action with them. It's like being a really incredible visionary, but also incredible disciplined philosopher. So when a visionary becomes a disciplined philosopher can become also a warrior. But then also that warrior can become a healer. And once we, combine all these different segments or aspects of ourselves, we become masters of this dimension. But not just this dimension, then we are ready to ascend to higher dimensions, to meet these spiritual masters and spirit guides and become one of them. And then later, as we move from this life, in other words, die, we can decide if we will stay in the position of these masters and guides and, teachers for others, or we'll move to another reincarnation cycle and be in a physical form for others. So I think it's a beautiful journey, and I just wanted to remind you once again, you're not alone. So work on this connection with yourself, to sense that within you there is life. There is, this you that you call yourself. It's truly vastness of all the life that walked before you. And all the life that walked before you is now within you, experiencing yourself. And that will make you feel magnificent. I hope so. So plug yourself to this bigger you that lives within you. So my friends, I hope you found great value in today's video. I'm sending you lots of love, blessings, and power. I hope you've enjoyed in today's painting, and to anyone who would love to support my art and this mission, go and check out our Etsy store. The link is in the description of this video. AttractPassion is the name of it. Go there, check it out. If any painting will speak to you, it means that it's for you. I'm an intuitive artist, and I'm making paintings by a vision that comes to me. So if any painting resonates with you, it's a sign that it's for you. So check it out, my friends. Until next time, stay beautiful. One love.